Welcome to KGXT, Gen X Talks podcast, live from Central California.
Making plans with the boys. I'm gonna hit the town. Yeah, I'm gonna make some noise. I'll push past the pain and my wounded pride. I'm gonna live it up. Yeah, stay out all night. But sure, I've had some better times. And I can't count all the tears I've cried. And maybe down my last time. Yeah, but the blues to me just fine.
Need to get done.
Broadcast to no one. I just... Oh, what are you going to do?
Good morning.
Well, good morning.
Can't believe it's Thursday already.
It just goes by. So the weeks go by so quick. Well, even last night, I was like, oh, we don't got anything to do tomorrow. And you're like, we have a
Yes, we
podcast
do.
in the morning.
Yeah.
It's Thursday already?
Yeah,
Are we
already.
getting chimed in on here? Is there somebody? Because they chime in on the radio station deal. I got to stay up on that today. I got to try
Yes.
to remember.
All right. Do you want to open up the podcast?
I think we should. The butt is running. It says we're broadcasting and everything's recording. I guess we can begin.
And Nick just said he heard your broadcasting voice.
Well, thank you, Nick. So see, that wasn't totally wasted. Nick heard me. That's good stuff.
Okay. Well.
Do I have to do it again?
No. Just start the podcast. Go.
Welcome to the Gen X Talks podcast, broadcasting from KGXT Studios live in Central California. It is Thursday, May 16th, as we record. Tomorrow is Friday the 17th, and Gen X Talks is going to be at Dodger Stadium. Now, you'd think we were headlining or a halftime
No.
show. No, we're just going to be there, sitting in the seats
We
over...
were invited by
Trippy Pineapple. We're going to be in the
TDP.
seats over by the Stadium Club, which
Ooh,
is
nice.
section 162. It'll be so you can find us. It won't be hard to see us. You know, if you're over by the Stadium Club, just walk over and look down.
Just look for a Gen X Talk shirt.
Yeah, look for the big guy in the Gen X Talk shirt. That'll be
it.
me. And we haven't even kicked off the radio station yet. We haven't even had our official kickoff in June 1st. This is still the beta testing.
I know we're starting to be on time too.
On time. You're dressed for once. You're not in your pajamas with your hair up. You're
No.
not giving me the good old Ethel Mertz. And our audio is worked out. Our video is worked out. So we're almost ready for June 1st, which will be the launch. And then the numbers will come in. So that'll be big.
All right.
So where do we begin today? I just did a little thing. We're going to be at Dodger Stadium. Oh, I want to look me in the eye. Look at me. No, you look at me right now, woman. This is your man talking. Not only is this Gen X Talks, this is your man speaking.
Okay.
I committed to us going to the thing in Torrance on the 22nd. We're going to go. We're going to make an appearance down there. So June 22nd, everybody, we will be at the Torrance Art and Craft Festival for a few hours in the morning. Come see us. Gen X Mom will be giving a bunch away. She got some surplus stuff. And then we can head home. And then June 22nd, that night, that's a Saturday, we have a moderator appreciation night. You guys have all been waiting for that. So we will be on the road early, on the road late, and we will slide in here sideways and give you a wonderful performance of Moderator Appreciation Night. So there's
No
that.
comment.
You know what? You just got to go, and you need to be charming and wonderful. You need to be a trained professional and be wonderful about this. Go, you know what? All right, I'm in, and I'll be happy about it. You got to set a good example. Otherwise, everyone's
Who
going
am
to
I
be
setting
miserable.
an example to?
Well, anyone who sees you.
I can fake it just like every other girl.
You can fake having a good time in Torrance.
Yeah.
They're like,
I can fake it anywhere.
that's a tough one.
I can fake it anywhere. Lots of years of practice.
Okay, here we go. That's you don't got to say that. All right.
Yeah,
so,
well, you opened that door,
well, I guess.
and I walked right through
No
it.
kidding. You barreled. You don't miss a beat when it comes to that shit.
Nope.
All right. So
You need it every once in a while.
no, I don't. I don't need you. Where was I? There was so much. I wrote down some stuff that I didn't want to forget.
Well, first of all,
yeah.
the shower glass door thing, you were doing really well for a little bit. Wasn't getting anything on there.
Yeah.
And then I go to take a shower this morning. What were you doing with circles and lines? There were circles. There was no words today.
No.
There was circles
Yeah.
and lines.
I know.
And I was like, what? I spent half my time in the shower cleaning up the glass. This better be. I don't
was
even know.
trying
There's-
to bend light using gravity.
What? What? Wait. What? What for?
Okay, I'm not going to make this a long conversation.
Oh, yes, you.
No, I
Yeah,
don't
you
want
will.
to. Listen, I think, in all the movies we've ever seen about time travel, when we go back in time, Marty McFly, he got to go see his parents. You can see your Doc Brown got to see his younger or older self, whichever way you want to put his older self. I don't think that happens. I'm the first guy in history to put forth the premise, and I was going to call Elon Musk about this later today. I don't think if we go back in time, we could ever see ourselves. And everybody says you can. Every movie says you can. Every TV show, every book, it says you run the risk of running into your former self. I don't think so. I think we bump ourselves backwards in time. In other words, if I went back in time to yesterday, the yesterday me would be bumped a day before.
Why do you think that?
And that guy would be bumped a day before. Because I don't think it's physically, because everyone says in the laws of time travel, which we've learned from movies, those are the written laws.
Oh, yeah, because they're always right.
Yeah. And they say you can never meet yourself because there's a paradox. Like if you kill yourself, if you kill your father and he never has you, you're never born of your father, then you don't exist to go back in time. It's a vicious circle. That's like a paradox law. You can't go back in time and see yourself because it would change things and ruin you going back in time. I think you're not there. I think it bumps you a day back or a year back. I think it bumps everything. It bumps backwards one moment in time, and you become you in that time.
Oh, my God. Okay.
So I was figuring out a way, and this is my time travel theory. I told you guys there's two ways to do time travel. There's a mathematical, scientific way, which no one's figured out. There's going to be something, well, if you spin around the sun at the speed of light backwards on a Hot Wheels tricycle, then you'll go back in. There's some mathematical way, or there's the magical way. You're traveling through the forest, you lean up against a branch of a tree, it opens a magic doorway. There's some porthole that's hidden and exists. There's like a way to find it, and there's a way to do it with math. All right. I'm still on the math side of this thing. I'm ranked up there with the top individuals. I have a way to travel through time, but you have to go faster than the speed of light in a specific direction and then bend the light. That's all I was working out in the shower was so that I could figure out a way to bend the light with gravity to go back in time to take the place of my younger self.
Why?
Because
can't
I
you
wouldn't be
just
there.
Shower like a normal man.
How do you know that other guys don't do the same thing? How do you don't know? There could be guys all over the country that draw things like this, that solve the mysteries of the universe on the shower with a bar of soap. You don't know?
Next story.
What? I can't. That was okay. Look, you
You know
asked
what?
me.
I do have one comment.
What?
The movie Kate and Leopold was a great time travel movie
Yeah,
with Hugh Jackman.
it was.
I really enjoyed that one with the portal jumping
Right.
off the bridge and stuff
Yep.
like that.
And
I
see,
like that.
he didn't go back in time to a point when he went forward in time.
No, he went.
No.
Yeah, he went forward.
He went forward in time, which
But
is
they did both. They went forward.
well, she went back. But
Right.
when she finally went back, she didn't go to a time she existed, so she didn't have to worry about running into herself or bumping herself. That was clean. That was just a clean exit. See? Aren't you glad that I worked these things out for you so you don't have to think about it? You're welcome,
Yes,
America.
Absolutely.
And Denmark.
Okay.
All right.
Good. Thanks.
glad we
We
got
talked
around
about
this.
time travel already this morning. Excellent.
That's what you brought it up. It was a shower thing, man.
Well, I didn't know what I was walking into when I was asking what was on the.
Well,
oh,
now you
man.
know.
I don't
hey,
know.
so marcyzavala.com, marcyzavala.com. For those of you who don't know, marcyzavala.com is not a sponsor of the program. She is a friend of ours, but she has spent her entire life trying to relieve pain in people, patients and friends and family. And now she's really, really honed her craft. She's really good at it. She's helped you a ton.
Yes.
And her thing about you, in fact, after cancer, 10 years after cancer, you were still suffering from pain every day. We tried every witch doctor, hocus pocus, snake oil salesman. We've tried everything.
And I was a typical Gen Xer going, I'll do it myself.
Yeah.
I'll be fine.
But we tried, I could fly you to Mexico, didn't help. We tried, witch doctor stuff from the Amazon rainforest, didn't help. Marcy got you back on track. And within about 4 to 5 months, almost all of your joint pain was gone. Except this is there. I'm going with
But
this.
I have, and if it does happen, I know why.
Yeah.
We've solved that problem where I know why it happened.
Diet.
Yes.
Yeah. You just came to me today. What did you say this morning you were
No,
quitting?
yesterday. This morning?
You walked in this morning and said, I'm quitting gluten.
Oh, yeah, because last
All
night
right, so let's pretend that didn't happen. Let's start over. You
I
brought
forgot.
something up this morning that you were quitting. What was it you were quitting, honey?
I did because I hit some too much gluten. I'm supposed
gluten,
to be.
you say. It was gluten? Was that what it was? See, I have to act surprised now, even though I knew the answer.
Oh my gosh, I can't remember what I said to you.
No
but
shit. It was like
I'm
an
not
hour
supposed
ago.
to have any at all, but I've been dabbling in it again. And once Dr. McDreamy and Marcy hear about it, I'm going to be in trouble.
You're gonna get a phone call
Yes.
going. A little finger waving there. Well, you
Yes.
came in this morning and you said, I got to quit gluten. I'm like, what happened? And you're hurting this morning a little bit, but
Yeah, not
because
too
you
bad.
knew you dabbled where you shouldn't be. And
Exactly.
Well, what the funny part was that we got everything cleared up, and I say we because I pretend I'm on the team and I'm not, except for your lower back pain.
Yes.
And that lower back pain every single day. You were chewing pain pills. You were we putting those hot patches on you, heating pad, hot shower. I mean,
I agreed with part of it. We have muscles that are connecting to our spine area,
Yeah.
and mine are weak. They're weak from lack of exercise. They're weak from not enough stretching.
right.
They're
But we
weak
did,
for all this stuff.
We did this routine for weeks now because you pulled a muscle or you did something
Right.
about 6 or 8 weeks
and it
ago.
seems to flare up a lot. I mean, it's there. It's always there's this pain there all the time. Sometimes it's sharper than others. Sometimes it's worse. Seems like driving aggravates it, right?
Right. So when we tell Marcy, we're like, okay, so she's done all the diet things. She goes, this is not a dietary problem. This is now, because she does physical therapy too.
Right.
She goes, this is now becoming an alignment problem in your lower, something there. She knew it was something physical that she'd have to address. So we're just grinding our way through this one last thing of pain in one spot. And it's not medicine. It's not diet. We're just, we don't know how to fix it. And we're driving through the desert a couple days back, and it was so funny.
we stopped at a rest stop.
I think we were in Williams, and I won't tell anybody more than that. We were in Williams, and you turned funky in the seat of the truck when we stopped.
I just turned, grabbed the handle
Yeah.
and twisted my back. Oh my
and
gosh.
it popped. It popped so loud,
Really
I thought it was
low.
going to shatter a window. It was loud. I heard it, and I went, "Oh my god!"
It was one of those where it pops and you're like, "Ow! Oh!"
You shrieked. You
yes.
shrieked at the year, but then within about 30 seconds, you're like, "Oh my god, my back pain's gone."
Yeah, the pressure and everything was relieved,
Yeah.
and I'm talking my lower back, really
Way low. Yeah, right.
And I was like, "Wow, okay."
So we got, and this probably would have gotten done sooner if we'd have been near Marcy, where she could have aligned you, done some pushing around back there. But we haven't been, we're going back up to her area, but we haven't been in a while. So I just couldn't believe on the side of the road in Williams, Arizona, all of a sudden it popped, and you have been substantially better since. A little pain, but substantially better. You're not walking around wincing anymore.
no,
So
I'm not.
this problem would have been solved had we been closer to her. We could have got this done weeks ago.
But that's okay. Everything is going in the right direction. That's
I'm
fine.
liking it. So yeah, I'm telling you guys, this is not a paid sponsorship. You guys want to get rid of the pain of aging and the pain that goes along with things that you've run into with trouble over the years. You're one click away, and that's your fault.
If conventional doctors aren't helping you, you can reach out to marcyzavala.com and she'll just have a conversation with you. It doesn't cost any money.
Nope.
She will take time and listen to what your problem is. She will decide if she can't do it, if she
She'll
can't
tell you.
handle it, she'll tell you. It's really simple.
But a lot of you guys, fans of the programs, followers and viewers and friends, a lot of you have reached out because I've gotten a
Me
ton of
too.
emails going, she's helping me.
Me too. One more thing I need
Yeah.
to correct myself. I
What?
stepped on my
You don't have a dick. You were
my
going to say,
tit last week. I said that she wasn't a certified nutritionist. I wasn't sure. Well, she is. She corrected me.
you heard
She
me
is.
gasp when you said that.
I wasn't sure.
You
I
said
knew
it and you
she
like-
was, but I wasn't sure. But she is a certified nutritionist. Marcy, I apologize.
As
I'm
you-
sorry.
When
I
you
love
said that live on the radio, I had to text her and go, wasn't me. I didn't say that. I don't want to get in trouble. So
She was.
know.
I apologized to her personally, and then she was like, "It's okay," but I want to correct it. that she has, if you have nutrition questions, she's your girl too. So.
Oh, yeah. She's really good at it, too.
Yeah, absolutely.
She's just bossy to me.
You need that.
She's mean. Nurse Ratchet.
Need that.
Bossy. I mean, she has to everybody, she's smiling and she's got this beautiful smile and she's talking to people. Then when she looks in my direction, it turns to a scowl.
As it should. If you ever end up in the hospital, I'm not getting you a big blonde boobed nurse. I'm getting you Nurse Ratchet. I'm going to line up all the nurses and go, which one of you's been here the longest? Which one's the meanest? Go.
That is not fun at all. I don't want Nurse Ratchet, who's 95 years old, giving me my sponge bath.
That's who you're getting.
I want some young 18-year-old intern who's figuring life out. That's the sponge bath I want.
Oh, bullshit. So would you like to tell everybody our daughter update?
No. No, I don't. She comes home.
You notice I walk away.
Yeah,
I'm
I know.
Like, good, go
You
talk
leave.
to Dad.
When she comes into the room, if she starts talking to me first, you leave. You quietly get up and go.
Oh, I'm glad you noticed.
And I'm stuck talking to her. She tells 30-minute stories. I'll give you guys an example. I'm going to make up something here to give you guys a truthful rendition of what she does, okay? She'll come in, and let's say she wants to tell me a story about her friend Susie. Let's say the point of the story is Susie turned in her 2-week notice, all right, at work. That's the story. That's the story she's going to try to get across. Dad, Susie turned in her 2-week notice at work. But here's how the story goes. Oh, Dad, so I was late to work today because the dogs got out front and I had to chase the dogs around the neighborhood. And then I got them back in the house and I locked the door and I went out to get my car and I figured I didn't have my keys, but I'd already locked the door. So I had to climb over the fence and go in the backyard and I got my keys and then I drove to work. And this guy in front of me, Dad, he was like swerving all over the place. I swear to Dad, I almost called 911 to report him. Anyway, he was in one of those stupid old BMWs. It's like a faded red color that you don't like those people anyway when they drive.
This is no joke, you
old
guys.
Red BMW. Anyway, so I get to work and, everyone's already there before me because, now I'm not a lead anymore. So I'm working the late shift. So everyone's got the good parking and I got to park out back. And I finally get a chance to go inside. So I get inside and I clock in and I'm like, where's Susie? And like, oh, she's in the office talking to people. Like, well, what happened? Well, she got into an argument with one of the managers. I was like, oh, okay. Well, is she still working her shift or do I need to take over? Said, well, we don't know. She just went. This story goes on and on and on and on. And then she goes, I finally saw Susie and she was wearing that stupid red dress that she wears. No one likes that red dress. I think she just wears it because she's trying to get the attention of the garden staff guys. So because she always, whenever she wears her red dress, Dad, she eats lunch outside. Now, who would eat lunch outside when it's this cold? Of course you wouldn't. And you wouldn't wear a dress. And these stories go on and on. And I try to be patient. I try so hard. I finally sometimes go, please, what did you want to tell me? Oh, Susie got mad and turned in her 2-week notice. I'm like, why the fuck couldn't you just tell me that? She goes, Dad, the rest of it is relevant to the story. I go, it's not. It's not relevant at all. I'm literally falling asleep in my chair. And she'll tell 3 of those stories every night when she comes home from work.
Yeah.
And you just
at least our other daughter with counseling had a story. Like I listened to everything had like a story.
I wouldn't know because with that daughter who lives up in where does she live again?
She lives in Clovis.
I walk away from her. When you guys are telling those stories, when she sits with you and you got your glass of wine, I walk away.
Well, that's fine. I've got that daughter. You've got this one. I just can't.
You know what she did? This is a true story. You walked away. You don't know what she did. She kept telling me her second story. She kept calling one of her friends an amoeba.
What the hell?
Yeah. She goes, oh, this girl, I've known her for like 3 years now. And she is so weird. She is dead. She's literally an amoeba.
And what does that mean to
I can't figure her out. She's telling me the story. She goes, that's why everyone at work calls her an amoeba. And I go, I had to stop her. I let the story go like 10 minutes.
Remember my word, my rule with the kids? You can't use a word you don't know the definition to. Did you ask her?
No, she thought she knew. I said, 10 minutes into her story, I said, okay, I'm not trying to shut you up, although that's on my mind. I said, but I said, you keep calling, it's 10 minutes in the story, you keep calling this girl an amoeba. She goes, yeah, Dad, she is. She's a mystery. She's a puzzle. I said, do you mean enigma? She goes, oh, yeah, enigma. And I said, do you guys, she goes, well, at work, we all call her a mystery. We all call her an amoeba. I said, so there's more dumb people at your work? She goes, we all call her a mysterious amoeba. I go, That's the wrong word. Enigma.
Oh my.
Puzzle. So not only was she telling me that story, her and her coworkers sit around talking using amoeba. That's
As an adjective.
As an adjective in place of enigma. And I mean, it must have confused her to look at my face because I was puzzled. I had no idea what she was talking
were an
about.
enigma.
I was in the middle of an enigma, trying to figure out an amoeba from a blonde girl.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's a true story. Now, one thing I will tell you, can you believe there might be something productive coming from this daughter? Yes, she's still with her boyfriend. My wife is not happy because she's now staying there more than she is here at the house.
We're back to where we started.
We're back to where we started. She's just kind of moved back in, and he hasn't changed at all.
But do you think the boyfriend has asked her to move in?
Nope.
No. She just moved herself.
He didn't come by and say, it's so lonely. Would you please move back into the apartment? I can't live without you. The nights you're not there, just so hard on nothing.
And what she tells us is this works out for us because we have to go to work together. And it's always an excuse of, well, he's going to go to the doctor with me or he's got to go here. And it works out better this way.
It works out good for him. He's got 3 nights a week or 4 nights a week. He can do whatever he fucking wants.
What single guy wouldn't take that?
Yeah. Come back to my house 3 days a week.
Clean, cook,
get my house, get meals prepared for the
do
week.
my laundry, and then get the fuck out of here.
Sleep with me at night, and then get the fuck out of here for 4 days. And then when my laundry's piled up and come back again, this is perfect for him.
Gosh, man.
You know what's amazing is somehow it works for her. That's what I don't get. Because
I would not be happy with that.
You would never go for that. If I told you leave for 4 days and come back and take care of my shit, you'd never come back. I'd never hear from you again.
No.
So there is a bright spot. So we there is. I'm telling you. Listen, it all works out really fast too. So Jacob, as all of you guys know, Jake has been talking with. He's been in.
He is our brand.
He's one of our brand managers.
Sponsor managers.
Right. And he's been in the business for like 13 years. He really knows some stuff. So he's been lining up interviews and trying to get sponsors and, people that people that like our show. They have to be fans of the show. And then we have to have an interest in their product. Well, he sends us the stuff that these guys want. What was the company called with the toothpick thing? Zippix. And he's like, hey, these guys are really into your show.
I looked at him and went, how are you guys going to do this?
Well, that was the thing is that the Zippix is nicotine toothpicks to help you quit smoking and vaping. And they're into the show. Like the crew that owns it and runs the place, they watch us all the time. So I was cool with that.
I just didn't know how you were going to put this into.
I didn't. I told Jacob no. I said, dude, I can probably fit a lot of stuff in, but I said I don't even have an angle on this. None of us smoke. I mean, I have a cigar once in a while, but I mean, and
we don't have a problem.
Yeah, we kind of passed.
You're right.
Then all of a sudden, this daughter shows up, and I went, oh, and you pointed and go. Because she was vaping, and you're like, you pointed, pointed, and you go, Zippix, and I'm like, what? And because she's coming in the house, and I'm like, oh yeah.
She doesn't she doesn't vape in the house. She knows that we don't like it. We don't care for it in our house.
But I don't bother her about it. It's her life.
No, it's her. She's over 18. She can do what she wants, but she knows that she does it outside and everything.
So this is what was cool because she does have a problem. She can't quit.
No,
she's been doing this for years. She's 24. And said, hey, these guys were talking about sponsoring us with this, and and she's like, oh, okay. So without talking about any more about that, we kind of made a side bet. I said, I'll tell you what, if you quit for 2 weeks, I'll give you $100 because I know it's going to be difficult. I'm trying to motivate her.
Right. I'm
trying to get her to struggle through it. And she wasn't interested in the Zippix sticks at all. She's like, no, I can do this. All right. So this is where it came in great. You've got to hand it to Briggs. Gen Z kid, because he tied all this together.
He gets it sometimes.
He won this round. So she goes for almost 2 weeks, doesn't vape, doesn't smoke, no nicotine. Then
I kind of caught this.
Yeah, he comes in.
I was in my office and I heard those two arguing.
He started her going. He goes, Dad's not paying you.
Oh,
she's
pushed her button.
Yeah, he goes. She's like, what are you talking about? We had a bet. He goes, Dad's not paying you. You cheated. You used the Zippix sticks. She's like, he's paying me. So she goes running out here to yell at me.
Yeah,
he starts filming. He started recording it. So the door opens to the
kid's
studio.
smart.
I'm standing there. She comes in and she's yelling at me. I see him behind her with the camera and he's just laughing. He's trying to keep it under control. I tell her, I go, I'm not paying you. You cheated. I mean, if I'm going to pay you to struggle through nicotine
the
with
withdrawals and everything,
I'll pay you if you're suffering. And she used those Zippix sticks and it was a breeze. It wasn't even like she had to try. So I said, you cheated. So she got mad and that I wasn't going to pay her. So she leaves, and like 20 minutes later, she comes back in. She's like, she gave me the whole, Dad, I'm your daughter.
Yeah,
you love me. Come on.
The baby girl thing.
The baby girl thing.
Yeah.
So
you're a softie.
I gave her the money.
I'm telling people you're a softie.
Don't tell people that.
I just did.
Don't say that.
It's okay.
So she leaves with the money, but the kid had saw her run back in here. So he ran back out just in time to see her leaving with the money. And then he comes in and goes, oh my God, Dad, you caved. You completely fucking caved to her, And so out of all that, it was good for Zippix because it does show that it worked. I wouldn't have known if it worked.
Right.
And it was almost like a breeze for her and she's been smoking for
and do you think
years.
she's going to stay off of it?
I don't know.
I'm
not sure what she's doing, but she chewed up all those Zippix sticks and now she wants more.
Okay.
And the kid got a perfect video out of it because if he wants to turn that back into Jacob and go, hey, man, your stuff works. Jacob can now take that to Zippix and goes, hey, man, your stuff's cool. It does work and these guys dig it. Now we're all back on the same page. And I didn't think we were ever going to get there because I don't smoke.
Well, yeah. Can I make a little plug for
go
Zippix?
ahead.
So anybody listening to the podcast, we have lots of samples of the Zippix while supplies last, which, I don't have hundreds of them. If you email me, GXMom at genxtalks.com and say that you want Zippix sticks, if you want to give it a try.
Some. Also,
and send me an address, I will send you out a sample.
Also, they're supposed to, by the time we edit this podcast and put it up, they're supposed to give us a promo code, so anybody who goes from
cool.
they can get a discount if they want to go buy them and see if it works.
I have some freebies to hand out.
Well, you can pass those out, and we can also, just so you know, we post this, there will be a link for you guys so they can, in this, so you guys can go get a discount if you want to try it. Anyway, I don't know if it would be cool if Zippix. I'm always begging for sponsors because I'm tired of paying for all the podcast stuff myself.
I'm tired of the money coming out of our bank account. Okay, because I'm getting gypped out of some things.
I know you are, but if the thing is
like
that,
my subscriptions.
Okay, that's you. Okay, you are such you are an enigma. You're an amoeba. That's what you are. You're an amoeba because I don't get what you're talking about. First, you have so many subscriptions.
I don't have so many.
Okay.
What do you consider many?
More than one.
What?
Anyway, before I argue with her, I'm hoping that Jacob's top to Zippix, man. I if somebody would sponsor the fucking program, this wouldn't cost me so much.
Oh, stop.
Right. So now the subscription thing, you've got, here's the ones I know of. You got that Book of the Month Club thing. You got your arts and crafts thing. You get every month, you get one of those deals. From Cold Desi, you get their surprise box every month.
Not Cold Desi.
What is it? Who is it?
Cricket.
Oh, Cricket. Sorry.
I don't
Cricket.
get
You get a surprise box.
No.
You got that Jelly of the Month Club.
No,
and then
not
you had
anymore.
last year you had the Wine Club.
But
So you had all these subscriptions. And
they
then
all went to a good cause.
what was the keeping you happy? Is that the cause?
Keeping me safe. You never, ever get subscriptions, ever.
No. So finally, when I get up the balls to hey, you know what? I'm going to stand up here. You don't get any more because you came to me asking for something stupid like concrete blocks of the month or something dumb.
I didn't.
And then I told you no, and you got mad. And then like a week later, my subscription shows up because I'm trying to connect with the Grill Master Club people. I was trying to get a sponsorship out of them. So I signed up for their deal and got some stuff here. And you got mad.
Yes.
What? You've been
I
getting...
have to give up one of mine for you.
No, you didn't have to give up any. I just wouldn't let you get more. That is not the same thing. I know in woman logic it seems like it, but it's not. So then here's the oxymoron of the whole thing. When I opened up my stuff, I stood my ground like a man should be, and I said, if I'm going to get one subscription, it's going to be something fucking cool. And I picked Grill Master Club, so I've got it. You opened it up and you started using it all.
I did. But I used it for you.
You got...
I made you food with your subscription.
With my subscription, yeah, with my stuff. That's like if I have sex with another woman, but I scream your name. Is it okay?
Yeah, of course.
I was thinking of you. I was thinking.
Yeah, that didn't work out well, did
No, it didn't go out well.
Want to try that one again? Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, look, you're just getting into my stuff, but I'll tell you what, the couple things you fixed with it have been super delicious.
Okay, see?
So I'm happy about it, but
So see?
don't touch. I get one subscription that's mine. One. I got to have a little area of this house that is mine. And that's
have
it.
an area. It's called a garage, and you have another one, studio.
Okay, first of all, you've decorated this entire studio. I haven't been able to do one thing in here. Not one thing have I put up. As soon as the paint got dry, you were in here.
You
and
can
the
do
garage,
whatever you want here. I'll back away. You
okay,
can do whatever you want.
back away. There's nothing left to do. There's every inch of wall space is taken up. What do you want me to do? You finish the project and go, there you go, do what you want. It's done. And my garage is a 3-car garage. One whole section is yours. And anytime something of mine goes on there, you throw it back onto the other section.
Absolutely.
So why do you say the garage is mine?
2/3 is yours.
Okay, that's a little more accurate. Don't act like you got the whole garage. No, I don't. Not even close. I have 2/3 of my territory. You have encroached 1/3 into my garage. Do I have 1/3 of your kitchen?
No, you stay out of my kitchen.
Do I have 1/3 of your office?
Stay out of my office.
Then stay out of my fucking garage. That's... Oh my God, my side is starting to hurt here. Where were we?
I want to talk about something about our trip.
Update on the daughter, the last thing there. The thing
We
you guys
have more about the daughter?
just recapping.
Oh,
She
my
has
goodness.
not, she's moving back in with the guy more than staying here and not telling us. And like my wife just said, we're kind of right back where we started. Nothing's changed. He didn't change anything from the big breakup and move out point. He just went right back. I'm afraid to ask her, why did you move back in? What's changed? What's different? Because she's not going to have an answer. She's not. So I'm afraid to even ask that question. I don't know. Anyway, that's it. We're moving on. All right, go. I'm sorry, getting all upset again.
Well, so we're officially old
What?
because last week, I'm telling everybody we're officially old. You know, when you were younger and your parents retired and your parents started doing things together, like maybe, I mean, they might.
Oh, yeah.
Well, we have now gone to that point where we go to lens crafters together. We make appointments to go together.
We
to
pick
do
up our
things.
medication together.
Yes, we do. It's
Your
really
medication's
pathetic.
done. When my medication's done, we go pick them up together.
It's really pathetic.
Nice.
But taking him to the doctor
What?
is like taking a child. This is my 9th child. He goes kicking, screaming, all the way to lens crafters. It's like if we have to wait 5 minutes, he's pacing and ready to walk out the door.
I do, because it's ridiculous when the doctors are amongst the worst people on the planet for keeping a time schedule. The worst.
Yeah, have you noticed now if you're late or you cancel, they charge you for being late or,
but you
or
can-
cancel,
you can-
but you can't charge them or get a
No.
discount for them being late.
No, if I have to sit in the waiting room for 45 minutes, then they put me in that little room in the back
And
for
wait again.
45 minutes. I want to go to the doctor and say, I hate to do this, man, but you're an hour and a half late. I was to charge you $90, man. They're
That's
like,
right. Take $90 off of my
take
thing.
$90 off my bill.
Yeah, well, that's not good.
But then they hand you a Band-Aid that costs $100 and go, we're even. All right.
Exactly. So we ended up getting glasses.
Well,
But I was so happy because she took you first. If you would have waited for me to get the
I left.
exam, you would have left.
I would have gone out to the truck
you
and
had to go
drove
first.
away, and I said, call me when you're done. I wouldn't have sat there that long.
So we had Mr. Grumpy Eye.
Hold on. That
Doctor.
girl who took me in there. See, you didn't know. You didn't tell me she talked to you after she talked to me.
No, she put you in the room.
She put me in the room, and
Ran
the
the
whole
test.
time she closes the door, and you sit at that stations after station for your eyes, and she goes, oh my gosh, you smell so good. I said, well, thank you.
brother. She was just calming you down and making you relax and
I
making
would-
you want to stay there. It worked, didn't it?
I was relaxed, man. I didn't need relaxing.
And you didn't want to leave
And
because
she says,
complimented you.
it smells so refreshing, like fresh out of the shower. I said, well, it's how I roll. And
God.
she says, well, may I ask you what it is? I said, of course not. I said, little lady, if you ever wanted to know what 1985 smells like, it smells like this.
And she went,
and she's like, oh my gosh, that was great. So she complimented me the whole way through. And then when I get out to see you, I'm like, this is hours later. I said, oh, by the way, that girl asked me about my cologne. You said, yeah,
She asked me too. When I got in there, she did all the exams. And then once you did the exam, you went in to see the doctor.
Yeah.
So he's in with the doctor. I'm getting my exam done by the girl. And she's like, your husband smells so good. But the funny thing was what I told you later. She asked me, she goes, could you write down what it is? I said, sure. I wrote it down. She goes, I want to buy it for my dad.
What? No fucking way is that true.
It's so true.
No,
I was
that is
laughing. I said, have at it. Here you go,
You
girlfriend.
just ruined the whole story now. You ruined everything.
Oh.
Wow.
I love
Thanks
it.
for deflating my ego completely. I was living large there. I haven't had a moment like that in years.
Oh, live it. Love
She
it.
asked for her dad.
Yeah, she goes, I want to buy it for my dad.
So I go into the doctor, and this guy's kind of standoffish. He's can I say Oriental? Is he Oriental? Is that the right word? Or
Asian.
Asian. He's Asian Pacific or what. Anyway, so the dude's kind of standoffish. He's kind of matter of fact. You and that girl come barreling down the hallway.
Well, she came to me and she goes, are these your husband's glasses? Your old ones, the ones you were wearing into
Yeah,
the
my
lantern. I'm
sunglasses.
like, well, I wasn't sure. I'm like, I don't know. I think so.
Whose glasses could they have been?
I thought they were our son-in-law's because he was there. And I was like,
God.
I'm not sure. I go, where is he?
You guys come barreling down the hallway in the middle of the exam with the doctor, and you come kicking in the door, and you're like, the girl goes, are these your prescription glasses? And I go, yes. Then you say, are these really yours? Well, not only have you been around them for the past 7 years, who else's could they be? And you said, well, you might have picked up our son-in-law's glasses on your way out the door.
Right.
And I looked at you and I went, these are prescription glasses. You think I would have driven all the way across town with the wrong prescription on my face? You don't think at some point I'd have gone, oh, this doesn't feel right. I can't see. These are my glasses.
Okay, well, we determined that.
So you guys leave, and the doctor looks at me. He goes, how on earth could you have picked up and worn the wrong glasses? And I said, I swear to God I did this. I took a moment. I said, it reminds me of one of the greatest philosophers of the 20th century.
Oh, my God.
Iceman from Bodfish, who looked at me one day across a crowded bar and said the immortal words, chicks, man, chicks. Now, what I didn't tell you was that from that moment, he goes, women. And then he went off. As he's doing the exam, he's like, man, you're right. You're right. Women, it doesn't matter what you do. You can't please them. It doesn't matter how much money you give them. They're never happy. You can send them on trips. They don't care. And then they divorce you, and you can be standing there in front of the judge telling him you did everything right. And this guy's telling me this whole story. He's clearly lived every moment.
Bitter.
Oh, very bitter. Yeah. He lived every minute of what he's describing. And he's like, and then in the end, your daughter doesn't want to speak to you. I was like,
Wow.
I at some points I'm tapping on the eye equipment going, buddy, let's get back to the exam. Come on, buddy, let's get back to the eye exam.
I got him second.
That's when I asked you, I said, how did he treat you? Because he was pumped up on hate women, and then you went in there.
Yeah,
So
and I'm a woman.
I was a little worried. I guess it wasn't
So
too
I
bad.
went in there and he goes, how old are you? I said, I'm 55. And he goes, welcome to the club. I said, what club? I go, there's a club? And he goes, yeah. He goes, you have the start of cataracts. He goes, welcome to the club. It's part of getting old. I'm like, that was what a rude.
Wow.
I was like, that is so rude.
It's kind of the way you're saying. He's like, he sounds a little bit prideful, like he took a little joy in letting you know, hey, dumb woman, you have cataracts.
Yes.
Ha, ha,
Yes.
ha.
And I was like, so what does that mean? He goes, well, you're officially old. You're on the downswing. It was so morbid. I was like, thanks. You're making me feel just great. He goes, yep. we're all like that. We're on the downhill. We're going down. This is how it's going to go. And I'm like, you are not making me feel any better here.
He didn't say any of that to me. Well, he did the same story with me, but it was like, you got some cataracts starting, a little stigmatism in your eye. Don't worry about it. Everything's fine. You'll be good.
Oh, no. He
You're
went
good for
down,
another 15 years. Just let me know if something changed. He was totally upbeat with me.
Oh, no. He went down the whole toilet bowl with that one. I was like, well, okay. So then we went through the whole eye exam, and then he was telling me about, I don't know. I asked him if any of it was genetic, like, because my mom had cataracts, and he goes, well, there's no determination, but, we just no. And then he was talking about his mom and that he doesn't talk to his mom anymore. And,
wow.
And he was going down that. So it was a bitter woman thing. I think.
It was a total bitter woman thing.
He goes, yeah, then you try to take care of your mom, but she doesn't thank you for it. And I was like, well, I said, isn't that kind of our job to take care of our... And he goes, well, it would be nice if she was thankful.
This guy has been injured by every woman in his life. His mother, his wife, his daughter. I think if his dog was female, I'd have heard a dog story that day.
Yeah, you would have kicked it.
So speaking of, you said the whole conversation went down the toilet. You just mentioned
big
that.
Time.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
I had a thought about Dr. McDreamy in a toilet.
He's listening. Be
He's
careful.
not listening.
Yes, he is.
He's probably not listening. No, it's a true story. I was thinking about this.
That's not what I think about with Dr. McDreamy. Okay.
We both have different bathroom thoughts about Dr. McDreamy. Well, I thought, because he's always asking, he's always like, well, Dr. McDreamy's doing the whole thing of, it's like, well, what are you eating? He wants to know blood work. He's got to do testing and results,
This is a little TMI.
No, I'm not going. I'm just saying, because I'm thinking of an invention here. This may be on a future shower glass door thing with soap. Okay. So what if your toilet had like some sensors built into it, and as you use the bathroom, it processed whatever you put in the toilet, and it beamed it to your doctor, and he had results. He could tell all the stuff he wanted from those tests. Anything you're processing out your body, your toilet just reports it to your doctor like in an email and says, he ate too much corn today. Or
I don't think a doctor would want that information on a daily basis. You
don't think we could sell a toilet that emails your doctor? The email toilet? And that would be a hit, man. I'm telling you, doctors would I want to know what happens every time I take a pee. He could call me and go, you drank whiskey last night, didn't you? Too much sugar in your urine. I can tell. He'd be right on top of that stuff, man. Tell me that's not a great invention. I'm telling you, shower door soap. I'm going to draw that out. I'm going to figure out the sensors. I'm going to mock up a little a trial prototype of it. It's going to work. Why are you looking at me like I'm an idiot?
I'm just kind of like, okay.
There's so much benefit. Okay, whatever, man. I
want to go back to what I was going to ask you. Do you remember when we were driving? We've done a few trips together where it's just been us and we're driving in the car, and we don't have the radio on.
If we pause for station identification, can you turn the air back on before my computer
You interrupted me again.
It's going to seize up because I can hear the fan.
Unbelievable. Going. Excuse me, everybody.
You shouldn't have turned off the air. What did you do that for?
Because you said you were cold.
I didn't say it was cold. I said I felt the coldness.
Oh my gosh, people.
Do you
see what I put up
with?
You can't
hear my computer fan blowing overtime trying to keep it cool. That's not a clue to you? All right, never mind. It's a guy thing.
Okay, so
I'm sorry. Yes,
back to my story.
We were lovingly driving together.
Oh Lord. But we didn't have the radio on. We weren't looking at our cell phones. We were just kind of looking around, and sometimes there was silence, and sometimes I was sleeping.
Well, this goes into what you said about getting old and traveling together.
Yeah, but we haven't done that in so long with
almost
having
forever.
all the kids and stuff. So, but I remember the comment I said to you. I go, we were looking around and we were traveling from California to Arizona and going, you know what? When you look around, you don't see any turmoil in the world. Like we were in our own little world. And we weren't thinking about the big picture. It was just in the moment.
You kind of forget that Washington is full of political assholes. You forget that college campuses have protests. When you're just driving across the desert and you pull up to a rest stop and there's 50 people at the rest stop and everybody just smiles and waves.
Yeah.
Everybody's, stretching and going to the bathroom and,
everybody's going somewhere.
Taking their dog for a walk and changing the baby's diaper. Everyone's just living life. you kind of forget. You're right. You are completely right.
Remember, we stopped at this rest stop in the middle of the desert, in the middle of nowhere, and we both caught the same older couple, older than us.
Yeah. Yes.
If anybody remembers doing this when they were younger, you'll remember, because there wasn't a whole lot of fast food restaurants when you traveled cross country with your parents. But this couple were sitting at the picnic tables at the rest stop. It looked like they had a picnic lunch where she unfolded sandwiches and chips and stuff, and they were sitting there talking. And we didn't say anything to each other until we got back in the car.
No, but we had both taken a lot of notice individually.
Yeah, we both said, "Hey, did you see that couple over there?" And we were like,
they had walked all the way over to the picnic table that was in the shade. Did you notice they picked that one tree?
Yeah.
That picnic table was in the shade. They spread out their stuff. They sat on opposite sides and they unfolded all their stuff. Because I went to the bathroom, washed my hands, and I came out and just watched him for a minute from a distance. And she just slid the sandwich across to her husband. It was cut in half, and they had the little thermos there.
Yeah.
I don't know what was in it. And I remember that as a kid, my grandparents especially doing that.
My parents were older, but I remember doing that. We'd pack lunches and put it in a cooler and then stop. Sometimes it was on the side of the road.
Yeah.
Or right off a off ramp.
Yep.
You just pull over on a dirt road and pop the back and you were eating. That's how it went. But I just thought that was very cool to see that.
It was another one of those moments where
they weren't rushing.
You forget that the world is chaotic or shitty or problems or whatever. I remember we talked about that because you brought it up actually when we were driving. You're like, from here, I can't see anything wrong with the world. From where I'm standing.
No.
And you were right. You weren't wrong about that. It really did give some. It's not only recharging to get away from your house and get away from life and go do something and come back, but it really was a breath of fresh air to not be bombarded with all the shit that's going on. It was really. We were only gone a couple of days, but it was very refreshing.
But it was enough. Yeah. It was enough to just get away from here, get away from this. Not that we don't love you guys, but it is nice to get away and just kind of recharge and do something different in life. So that was kind of thing. Have you noticed? I'm switching gears.
No, go ahead.
Have you noticed the earwig problem we're having around the house?
Oh my God. I was going to tell you about this the other night. But I didn't want you to get mad.
I'm wondering if it's just us.
Well, it's like it goes, okay, I know that when it rains outside, bugs tend to come inside. You know, they're looking get out of it's flooding everywhere. So that happens with all bugs. But then it happens in the summertime too. We get those little field mice, those little tiny, cute little field mice that when it's really hot outside, they try to get in the attic or they try to get inside. I know, I got it. But this earwig thing seems to come in waves, and there's no explanation for it. It's not after a storm. It's not after heat. These earwigs, these pincher bugs just show up. Now, you've been pinched by one. I have not. Yeah. But I saw you get pinched by one. I do not want that to happen to me.
It's just giving me the willies right now from that. It hurts.
There's two things that happened, and I freaked out. I mean, I was marginally concerned. Men don't freak out. My age men, we don't freak out. I sat down.
Freaked out.
The TV was on in our room, and I was up like at 2 a.m. I sat down at my desk. There were still some slices of pizza there, that I kind of left on the desk and went to bed. I figured I'd throw them away in the morning. And it's dark in the room except for the TV casts that TV light across the room. The glow. And I grabbed the piece, and just before I go to eat it, I thought I saw something move.
Oh.
And on the pizza was an earwig. I almost bit the pizza. I would have been the first guy in human history to get bit in the mouth by an earwig.
That's gross.
But I killed it. It was gone. And then the next morning, I'm still freaked out by how close that encounter came. The next morning, I'm in the shower, I'm washing my hair, and I feel in my long hair in the back a worm or a salamander or it felt like it was slimy. It was not my hair, and it was long and slimy. I'm like, oh my God, now I'm freaking out, and I'm ripping.
Freaking out?
I mean, I'm casually observing the situation and taking caution as I handled whatever was going on. And I grab my hair, I'm pulling at my hair, trying to get it out of my hair. It turns out it was just a pony. It was a little scrunchy. But it had shampoo on it, and I thought it was something like an animal. Well, because
There's a lot that happens to you in the shower.
Yeah.
I'm kind of putting this all together.
Well, I also want to know is, the little rubber band, the black rubber band ponytail
Yes.
holder.
Yes.
Is there a different word like for men? Because I hate saying that I have a pony in my hair. That's like what chicks do. Can I?
Elastic band.
No, that still sounds feminine. Isn't there a guy term? We need to come up with a guy terminology.
Well, I could, but it's not nice. I mean, I can.
Well, I'm just saying that I would like to be able to say, hey, I don't want to say, especially if we're around friends, I don't want to say, hey.
Hairband.
I don't want to say, hand me a pony.
Hairband.
Hairband.
Not hairband.
No, not an 80s hairband.
Hairband.
Hairband. I guess that'd be all right. Hand me. Well, if I said that, would you know what it was? Give me a hairband?
Yeah.
All right. Well, there just has to be a different word than pony. I hate telling a story and going, oh, my pony.
I don't know how many people. They don't even sell them as ponytail holders. That's not a
What
thing.
do they sell it as? It's got
I
to
think
be.
they're hairbands.
Oh. Well, what it was
Elastic hairband.
It was the elastic hairband felt like a worm or something or
Ew.
I don't know. But
That is just you know what? No more showers for you.
What? Unsupervised.
Well, I am so excited to tell them about this other story when
What's
we were
that?
coming back from Arizona. When our okay, so we have another daughter. She's second oldest daughter. She's the one married to the Marine
In Pendleton.
at Pendleton.
Formerly
And
Pendleton.
yes, he has moved on to his MOS, is now a recruiter. They put him in the lovely state of Nebraska.
Lincoln, Nebraska.
Lincoln, Nebraska. And this weekend was moving day or moving weekend.
Yeah.
Took them a while to move. So we're on our way home from our trip and she calls
Yup. Crying.
crying. And we as parents are like, what the?
I almost pulled over on the side of the road. I'm like, what's going on?
And what we
Well,
put her on speaker.
We put her on
and this is what
speakerphone, so
she
we're
said.
talking. And she said, now remember, she's pregnant. I don't know how far along she is. Do you?
She is
She's showing for sure.
5 months.
She's got back pains and everything. And she called crying. She goes, I'm not having a good time. I'm very unhappy with this move. And I said, well, what happened? She goes, well, my mother-in-law was supposed to come help me pack. And then we were leaving on a certain day. She never showed up to help me pack. I did it all myself. In fact, the day we were leaving, we had everything loaded up and we just sat there. She never showed up.
yes.
She never showed up. So now we have to stay in the hotel one more night. We can't leave town because we don't have enough people to drive all the cars. And she just shows up the next day like, oh, yeah, I was busy.
When
Then-
it was all planned prior to
Oh,
that.
it was all planned. And then she's like, she didn't help me pack, and she's supposed to help me drive because it's really hard on my back to drive. Dad, she's not helping me drive. I've been driving. I go, well, where has she been riding? She goes, she's been sitting up in the U-Haul with her son, the husband, my son-in-law, just having a good time talking to him. And she was losing her mind. Our daughter was just
she was
crying, and she goes, this is
upset.
not working. And we gave her some very Gen X advice.
First of all, I told her to go tell her mother-in-law she's pregnant. Like, she shouldn't be lifting anything at all. She gets to pull the pregnancy card.
Right.
Just that was the first thing we said to her.
That was the first thing you said. I just went straight for the throat. I go, okay, that is her son, but that is your husband.
Exactly.
This is your daughter. This is your pregnancy. This is your car. This is your house and your family and your move.
Exactly.
This should be all about you. You are the queen of this event. Your husband should be taking care of all this shit, not taking care of his mother. And she says, what do? I said, you take charge. This is the Gen X advice. I said, you take charge right now. She goes, what do you mean? I go, nothing. You go to your husband and say, I'm unhappy.
First.
You
Yeah, we
give
said
him
go
a
to
chance to
first.
fix this.
Right.
You go to him and say, I'm not liking this at all, but you take charge. So she said the next morning she got up. They were all packed and ready to go to head out. And her husband says, okay, let's jump in the car. She goes, first of all, I'm not driving the car. Your mother's driving the car. And second, I'm not ready to go.
Oh, I love
He
this.
goes, well, what do we? He's packed.
Yeah.
Everyone's had breakfast. They're checked out of the hotel. He goes, what do you want to do? She goes, I feel like going swimming. So she goes and changes into her bathing suit and goes swimming.
With
and
our granddaughter.
With her granddaughter. And now the mother-in-law and her husband are standing on the side of the pool with the car keys in their hand going,
What are you doing?
what are you doing? And she goes, I want to go swimming. And that's it. Now the mother-in-law starts freaking out like, can you believe what your wife is doing? She's delaying this whole thing. And he goes, Mom, you delayed it a whole day. And all of a
Amen.
sudden the husband started turning our son-in-law started turning, and she goes, okay, I'm ready to go, but I want something to eat at a certain, like a Starbucks or something.
Yeah.
So they had to go find a Starbucks. And then she says, okay, let's get on the road, and hands her mother-in-law the keys and goes, you're driving the Honda with the dog. And she sat with her husband in the U-Haul. And that's the way she played it. She says, we'll stop when I want to stop. We're going to eat where I want to eat. And we'll get the hotel I want. And she wasn't being snotty. She was being in control. Like, this is my life.
That's right. It was my trip. Because we built it up that this is the next chapter in their lives.
Yeah.
This is an adventure for them. The mother-in-law was second.
Yeah, she was second
She was just
fiddle.
along for the ride. This was an event for them. Stories of their, when their kids are grown, they could talk about how they left California and went to Nebraska and started this adventure. So
It's kind of a reverse Grapes of Wrath type of thing. So
Yes.
I love she got to her house in Nebraska, and she called me, been on the road 3 or 4 days, and she said, my husband fell in line. He did everything for me. Where do you want to stop, sweetheart? What do you want to eat? Everything was just, she goes, I was the passenger princess the whole time. It was a great drive. And I said, well, how did his mother-in-law take it? She goes, I don't care. She goes, I don't care. I didn't ask. I don't care if she was comfortable or not. She was there to help.
But while our daughter was on the phone crying, I pulled the phone out and was getting the map ready going.
We hung up from that call. Yeah, my wife is right. And what did you tell me about the next highway?
The next highway, we can meet her in Vegas. Or I said, there were 2 options.
2 hours.
2 hours.
Yeah.
We could be in Vegas in 2 hours from where we were.
Boy, I was so upset that my daughter was crying.
Yeah,
and
we
that this was
almost did
going
it.
up. Well, you finished the conversation by telling our daughter, have your mother-in-law call me.
That's right.
Put your mother-in-law on the phone. I'll straighten her out. Put her on the... And our daughter's
did.
like, Mom, you don't need to talk to...
She goes, that made me feel really good, but no, you don't have to. Yeah, I said anytime.
Well, then we hung up and we're fuming, and you got on the phone, looked at a map and said, the next highway, if you turn north, we can be in Vegas in 2 hours, and we'll just pick her up and we'll drive her to Lincoln.
Oh, yeah, we had a plan. We were going to pick her and the granddaughter up and go to Nebraska ourselves, and the mother-in-law and the son-in-law can meet us
They can
there.
truck along in that big U-Haul at 55 miles an hour.
But she didn't ask us to come to her
No,
rescue.
yeah,
We
that would've-
respected...
It would have been funny to show up if we weren't invited.
Yeah, so we respected her wishes, and she handled it just by herself. So proud of her for
she
doing
is
that.
so happy.
So proud of her.
She's excited. She really is. So that was a good one, too.
Yeah, that was very, very good. So,
Oh, what was there? So the notes. There was so much we're supposed to talk about.
I think it's been almost an hour already, I think.
It's been close, yeah.
It's crazy.
I know that, quick update on the kid. He's got till June 7th to move out, but now he's out of money because he's not earning his money with Cutco like he's supposed to, but they don't want to lose him as a salesman, so they made him part of the office team, which means he gets 2% of everything that gets sold through that office, but it also means he's got to be down there 3 or 4 days a week, which is not what he signed up for, but he needs the money. He's not sure what to do. I'll tell you guys, he is really, really struggling emotionally on what to do because he doesn't know where to go. He can't get an apartment. Everyone's turning him down. He's even offering to pay like 2 or 3 months in advance. And he knows he's fucking burned his bridges with me because he's been so lazy. Even today, it's now 11 o'clock, and I'm sure he's moving around by now. But I told him last night, I said, get up at 8 o'clock, man. Be showered, have your boots on. By 8 o'clock, have breakfast done. Let's get ready to go, man.
He's almost in a depression.
Yeah, whatever you're going to do with your life, even if you're not doing stuff with me, be ready to take on the world at 8 a.m. And at 9:30, he still was barely even moving, barely even out of bed, just not even. And I can't fix it. All I can do is kick him out and go, this isn't working. Because if he stays here, nothing will change.
And I'm okay with that.
He'll be 30 years old. You're okay with him staying here and being lazy?
Yeah, he's my baby.
No, I don't care. I'm putting my foot down. That's not going to happen.
It's my baby.
I don't care. If he's not going to grow up and be responsible here, then I'm going to push him out and he can figure out living in his truck. The world will teach him how to be responsible because I'm not going to have it. He can't be lazy anymore. He's going to be 19 soon. He hasn't got his head out of his ass.
So we're going to our first Dodger game in over a year tomorrow.
Been a bit. Yeah, tomorrow night, the 17th, we'll be at Dodger Stadium. We mentioned this at the beginning of the program. Section 162 by the Stadium Club. It's not a big section. It's pretty easy to see. You can walk wherever you have tickets. You can walk over there.
I don't know if you can switch levels anymore at Dodger Stadium.
You can because that's where the food is. You can go down to the food and go up to the food. That's one of the main food levels. So you're allowed to go there.
Okay.
But
Are we going early?
We're going to go really early. Yeah, we're going to
As
be
soon
down
as the
there
gates
really.
open?
Gates open usually 2.5 hours before game time.
I don't know.
We're going to be there really early. Trippy Pineapple's going to be there. He's on staff here at Gen X Hawks. He'll be along. I'm not sure who else is going, but I know we're going.
Cool.
And so that'll be a fun one to go do. So if anybody is going to be at Dodger Stadium Friday the 17th when they play the Reds, just poke around, say hi. We're going to be totally visible over there. I'll probably be in my
You'll
wheelchair.
be visible.
I'll be visible. Yeah, I'll probably be in my wheelchair, sitting up in the handicap section because my chair is more comfortable than those seats they have there.
Yeah,
but
they are.
You won't have any trouble finding us if you want to come by and say hello.
So let's round out the podcast. Do you have a car story?
I was thinking about
loves
that.
Those.
Well, I was thinking about that. The car stories. I told you guys that I used to work for U-Haul, 7-Eleven company. We had a couple stories about U-Haul, and there is a major repair facility for 7-Eleven company in the San Fernando Valley behind the Anheuser-Busch Brewery.
Is it still there?
I believe it's still there. It's a
wow.
big yard. And that's where they have, if you get a U-Haul truck that gets into an accident or one that catches on fire or one that needs major repairs, it doesn't go to the centers, little U-Haul centers all over town. They drag that thing to the big repair facility and they do body work and stuff there. And that's right off the 405. So if you guys know where that is, you can see it from the 405 too. It's on the west side. Anyway, there was this one guy, Lanny E. Coffey is the guy who ran it at the time. I don't know where he is anymore. He was kind of an ex-Marine Corps guy. Him and I butted heads all the time.
What made you decide to work there, of all places?
I don't remember why I went to
Do you remember
work
how
for
you
U-Haul.
found it?
Went to U-Haul. Well, I started working at a center, U-Haul center, on Sepulveda, I think it was, because they were doing truck repair and that particular U-Haul center had 5 bays.
Wow.
For mechanics, and that was pretty rare. They usually didn't have a lot of bays. U-Haul would have one bay for putting on trailer hitches. That was or one bay with one mechanic for repairing small equipment. They used to rent lawnmowers and
Really?
and concrete compactors and stuff. Yeah, I don't know if they still do, but they used to.
Huh.
And you'd always have kind of a handyman mechanic on site for that. But I remember going to work for them doing big repairs at that Sepulveda place. And it was they did engines and transmissions and motorhomes. But then when they had a big program, a big new style program, they pulled mechanics from all the centers and put them in this one big center at the repair facility. I was one of the mechanics that got pulled. I didn't want to go, but I didn't have seniority, so I had to go.
Okay.
So I worked there for a while. I ran one of the MRU's mobile repair unit. You take their U-Haul truck home with you at night, and you had a beeper. At the time, there was a beeper. And if your beeper went off, you had to call in. And if they had a breakdown, you had to go wherever it was. It could be over towards the coast. It could be up to Gorman on the 5. And you had to drive. You had to go. There's a family sitting on the side of the road in a broken U-Haul truck. And you had to go try to fix it. So that's what I did. But when I wasn't doing that, I was at the facility and working on stuff. And this one guy, I can't remember his name now. And he butted heads with Lanny worse than me, and they fought all the time. They screamed and yelled at each other. And this guy really needed this job. I remember talking to him all the time. He was in the stall next to me. Got to have money for my family. I got to take care of my wife and kids. And he just always living paycheck to paycheck. And he was really struggling. And he couldn't fix this one truck. This one truck, it was an older truck, but it was in pretty decent shape. It just needed to be repaired. But he tried everything fixed. And he's throwing parts at it, pulling the motor apart, couldn't get it to go. The electrical kept giving him fits. And I don't remember what was wrong with it, but I remember that Lanny, the boss, came out and said, if this truck isn't fixed by Friday, the weekend, you're fired.
Oh.
I'm done with you. I'm done with it. So other mechanics we all kind of wanted to go help this guy. I said, well, tell us what's going on. Maybe we could help you. And Lanny said, no. If I catch any of you helping this guy, you're fired too. So this guy gets to Thursday night and this truck still isn't running. And the thing was, I told him Thursday night, I go, look, man, there's 50 other trucks out in the yard just like this. One of them just has the side of it smashed in. It was in an accident, but it runs good. If you're having trouble testing things, go test one that works. You can test the one that works and go, oh, this is where this voltage is supposed to be. Oh, this is where the fuel pressure is supposed to be. Oh, this is where the ground. You can go look. We got 50 of them out there. You got working units to go look. And he's like, oh, yeah, I do. So we all went home that night, except for this guy. He stayed and worked late because at that time you could work as late as you wanted. They had other shifts working there, and you could work till the middle of the night. So the next morning, I come in, and his truck that he'd been working on is now washed and cleaned and right outside in the row of line of repaired vehicles. And now, the senior guy's got to come by and check the boxes. Yep, you fixed it. It's good. And this one was on Lanny's mind. He grabbed the clipboard. I'll check this one out. This motherfucker didn't fix this truck. This truck's fucking junk. It ain't going to run right. He was determined to prove that this guy did not fix the truck.
Okay.
So Lanny drives it. He's gone for a long time, and he comes back, and he goes, all right, I guess I was wrong. You fixed it. Running great. And so the Lanny goes through, he signs off on everything. He writes down the mileage and the VIN number, the license plate, checks all the lights, and signs off on it. And one thing had occurred to me about 2 weeks later. It popped in my head, something I saw. During the time this guy was fixing this one U-Haul, he had gotten so mad one time that he threw a wrench, and it had hit the fender of the truck. Now, they didn't care too much about dings, and they could fix dings in the paint, but I mean, this one was fresh. It took a chunk out of the fender and the paint, and it was shiny metal. And I was like, dude, you're going to get even more trouble. You just fucked up this fender. He's, I don't care anymore. I'm going to quit. And anyway, that had happened like before and then he finished the truck. Mm-hmm. So the truck's done. It's on its way. It's down the road. They shipped it out to one of the centers. Now it's on the road being rented. And 2 weeks later, I'm in the backyard with all the broke down trucks. And I went out there to get something. I was pulling tires off of something, I think it was. And I happened to see a truck with the same dent and the same chip paint. And I was like, what the fuck? How'd that truck get back here? Because that was the truck. Clearly, that was the dent. I mean, I was there when he did it. And I walked over and I go, this is the fucking truck. And it was buried. It was like 6 rows deep. And the license plate was gone. And the VIN number was missing.
Oh, no.
The guy had taken another truck out of the yard that ran well, brought it in, and switched out the VIN number and the license plate and the odometer.
Oh, my God.
And the odometer, because back then you could. They were not computer-driven. You could just swap them out. And he presented the truck as repaired. He fixed whatever that truck was in for. It was obviously in there.
Yeah, but
could have been in there for brakes for all we know, but he fixed it.
How long did it take him to do all that? Well, how fast can you change out an odometer?
An hour.
Oh.
He pulled the dash. It was simple, especially on old U-Haul trucks. It was
my God.
like 6 Phillips screws and you're in it.
He didn't really fix the truck.
He didn't fix it, but he saved his job. He got the exact truck. Because like I said, there had to have been 50 out there that looked just like it. And everyone's going to say, well, you can't swap out VIN numbers. That's it. You can't do that. We could at U-Haul. We actually had there's special rivets that hold the VIN numbers in place. Uh-huh. You can't buy those rivets. You can't buy that stuff. They're special. There's only a few body shops and places in the country that are allowed to do that. It's a very illegal thing to have. But we had them at U-Haul because we did this kind of work so often where we changed cabs, we changed chassis. U-Haul had a license at the time to be able to put on new VINs. We had the tool. He just went and got the tool, put it on there.
Don't they put VINs? Don't they scratch VIN numbers into somewhere else in the body?
Not on these trucks.
Oh, wow.
There might have been one stamped on the frame from Ford, but you'd never find it. I mean, it was inside the channel frame, maybe, back then, because this was the mid-'80s, so this truck had to have been a late 70s. But the door, the dashboard, he replaced those. He did the whole thing, got it all done, and passed it off. That was a true story to save his job. He couldn't fix the other truck. He swapped out, and far as I know, that truck ran as that other truck for the whole time. No one, as long as I worked there, because that would have made waves in U-Haul. You would have heard about that. If gossip like that travels through all the centers, if somebody would have got busted for doing something like that.
Wow.
And I was the only one who knew. And I went up to him and I said, hey, come here for a sec. And I said, I said, do you recognize that truck out there? He goes, nope. And he walked away. I said, all right, neither do I. I didn't say a word. I let it go.
That's good.
I don't know if that counts as an automotive story, but it's a true story. It did happen.
It's a good.
Hey, Lanny E-Coffee, you're probably like 85 years old right now, but if you're listening to the program, I don't remember the dude's name. He was a really cool Mexican guy. He was about 30 years old, but he pulled one over on you, and you fucking deserved it, Lanny. You're kind of an asshole, just so you know.
All right.
So
Wow.
there's your goddamn story.
Alrighty.
All right.
I don't know. I think we've been on an hour and like 10 minutes or something. I don't know.
An hour and 9:30. Wow, you were 30 seconds off.
Whoa.
That's impressive.
I'm feeling it. I'm sitting here too long. I'm sitting here too long.
We're going to have to say goodbye and good night, and we're signing off. But everyone, you guys need to go to genxtalks.com. You can see what movies are coming up on Discord. You can see the calendar events to where we're going to be. I'll update everything today so it's current. And then you can, anywhere we're going to be, just stop by and say hello. We're not telling you that because you have to buy a ticket and do something. If you're going to be near a place where we are, or like
Stop
that
by
thing,
and say hi.
right? That deal in Torrance, there's going to be 7,000 people. I guarantee there's going to be some Gen X Talks fans down there. We're going to meet a lot of you guys. If you're anywhere near Southern California on June 22nd, just stop by. It's free to get in, I think. And if it's not, it's a couple bucks. Just spend a couple bucks to say hello.
Also, we haven't talked about it much, but the second annual Gen X Talks barbecue is September 1st this year. We're inviting people to buy a ticket and come to our personal residence and meet us and hang out and meet other Gen X Talks people that watch, listen, participate.
All the names
everything.
you got, all the names you already know. When you know people that like, and all the staff's going to be there. It's going to be a great time. But it's yes, the one event, the barbecue, is on the 1st.
Is on September 1st.
But do you know how many people are showing up a couple days before?
Yes.
And they're getting hotels and, hey, can I just come over and help you out?
There is even people, you can go on our Discord server. There is a channel or a room dedicated for the barbecue. People are coming in RVs and staying at an RV site for the weekend and just hanging out together. So if you want to be a part of this, it's growing every year.
Do you want me to tell you a story that I heard about the RVs?
Well, hold on. You need to buy a ticket.
Yeah.
So you need to go onto our website and get a ticket. The ticket is supplementing the cost for the food. So, what do you want to tell them?
Well, it's under genxtalks.com. Go to merchandise where you buy merchandise. There's also a tab on there that shows the ticket. It'll link you right to it. That way you can get it to it easily. But there are people that are spending their vacation time to come see us. There's people that are cashing in their 4 days of vacation going, I'm using my vacation time to come here. And there's people that are saying, hey, I've watched them in Discord. There's like, I'm driving my RV to the Gen X Talks barbecue. And then one guy goes, well, I'm in Kansas and I don't have a ride. Can I? Yeah, I'll come by and pick you up. There's now people getting other people to get there. It's really
awesome.
something. So
I can't wait to meet everybody.
No, it's going to be a blast. I will push the barbecue because there's a few tickets left. We'll get sold out like we did every other year.
Yeah, we always do.
But I like the group of people we've had each year has been wonderful.
It's really fun to this year I am going to do name tags. I know name tags are kind of tacky, but we need them.
Yeah, because
with our call signs, everybody's got like a call sign and you don't know them as Joe Schmo, you know them as whatever their call sign.
There's the heart of the Navy pilot and my wife. You see, we don't call them call signs. They're screen names. You're thinking Maverick and Iceman because you love airplanes so much.
Yeah, but my Navy father, you know.
I know, and you're like, your call sign. No, it's screen name, honey. They're just screen names. She went all Navy on us. Yeah, you Navy nerd, I tell you. All right, so that was it. There's a bunch of stuff coming up. We'll let you guys get back to it. For those of you listening on KGXTradio.com, we'll sign off from everybody else. We'll stay on for a little bit longer with you folks, so hang on one second. You know what? It's time for you to say goodnight, Gracie.
Good night, Gracie.
Thank you guys for tuning in. Not sure where you're listening in from, around the planet, AM, FM, Sirius XM, or perhaps along the Armed Service Radio Network. Remember two things. Wherever you go, there you are. And I'll catch you guys on the flip side.